Hello and welcome to Limey Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I am, of course, your official, Zeke Lamone, and this right here is the Lemmy versus Limey games. This is where we take a movie and we break it down from start to finish, and we give the good bits a Lemmy and the bad bits a Limey. And at the very end, we're going to tally up the score and see where it lands on this here lemon scale. Today's movie, as you can see by the title in the background, it is the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie. Will this movie be a flawless victory, or will it be just fine, like the 1995 version? Will it be a fatality to the franchise like it was for Annihilation? Well, it turns out that this is just a really great pilot episode for a TV show, which is probably what it should have been from the get-go. What do I mean by that? Well, get over here and let's get to the movie. Alright, I'm gonna be real with y'all. We kick off with a freaking standout. 5 Lemmys for this beginning. Because it's freaking awesome. I mean, Hanzo versus Baihan, or Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, as they will become later. It's just a really good fight in the origin of Scorpion losing his family and what Sub-Zero did to him. Although, I believe on the original, Sub-Zero was the good guy and Scorpion was the bad guy, and this was like revenge for Sub-Zero. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've watched the original story of Mortal Kombat. But in this case, it's completely fine with me to make Scorpion the good guy because Scorpion was my favorite Mortal Kombat player. And I mean, just the fight choreography and how serious it is, how grounded it is. This is how I wanted my Mortal Kombat to be. I have a big thing with, I'm not a big fan of it, but I'm a big fan of it, if that makes any sense. I'm not the biggest Mortal Kombat fan, but I know my Mortal Kombat for the most part. And this right here to me is what a Mortal Kombat movie should be. I think it's on that level of Game of Thrones when it comes to character development with the stakes and all that stuff. And this is really what it feels like the movie was going to be. Then the tone changes right after it, because Scorpion had this child who was a girl, not a boy. That's who I thought. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't really reading the subtitles at first. I was like, oh, Cole Young is the child. I didn't read 1719 either. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed, guys, okay? Or sharpest tool in the shed. And then we fast forward to Cole Young, and the tone just completely changes. It still tries to be serious, but yet it's still self-aware. So yeah, he's an underground MMA fighter, and Shang Tsung is talking with his people nah, we need to cheat this time with Mortal Kombat. We need to kill all the champions before the tournament even happens. But Shang Tsung, you've won 9 in a row. You're really going to be okay, this 10th one, we're going to cheat. Look, we have to really make sure we win. If I beat the team 9 times in a row, I'm not going to really sweat the 10th time. Don't really get your logic here, Shang Tsung, so we're going to have to give your thought process a line. So anyway, back to Cole Young. Cole Young is a MMA fighter who fights underground for $200 per fight, and he's apparently not that good, according to the coach or referee, the owner of the gym, I guess. They never really explain him. They don't really explain anyone really that much in this movie. And he gets his ass kicked, and he got beat pretty bad, but he still cleans up very nicely for it. And this is where he meets Jax, and Jax asks him about this mark that he has on his pec. Yeah, pec. And his daughter's like, oh, it's a birthmark. He was born with it. And Jack's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. But Jax knows it's not a birthmark. It's a chosen symbol that they need to do. And he explains all this because Jax also has one during the Sub-Zero attack because Sub-Zero's out to attack him. Because, again, Shang Tsung wants to kill all the Earth champions before the tournament even starts so they can take over the Earth realm. And look, I'm just going to start right now. Sometimes the acting is very noticeable in this movie. A noticeable point is only worth 3. It's not a standout, but, I mean, you can say it's the term that me and one of my friends uses, and that is that we hear paper. You just hear the words on the script coming out. You don't really see any feeling, no emotion to it. It's very noticeable throughout this whole entire movie. Some of the acting is really good. Some of the acting is not so good, and it's from everyone, too. It's really a mixed bag about, okay, they performed that well. Okay, they did not perform that well. It's just very noticeable, so we're going to give 3 line for the acting in this movie. So anyway, we then get Jax versus Sub-Zero, and But this is the origin of Jax's arms because Sub-Zero breaks his arms, and it was freaking awesome seeing that on the big screen. And yep, you betcha, Sub-Zero wins.
Sub-Zero wins.
Alright, now let's get into the script a little bit here, because I don't want to harp on the actors too much. I don't want it to seem like, oh, the acting is absolutely horrible. No, because sometimes the actors, they're just doing a job, and they're doing the best they can with what they have to work with. And to me, this script is not good at all, and I don't feel like the actors really had that much to work with. And I really do feel like Mortal Kombat can be a very, very good story on the levels of Game of Thrones, in all honesty, the first few seasons when it was at its top tier writing. I truly, truly believe that, and in this one, it was just like, alright, people are here just to see the fights, and again, this was a movie that was made from a first-time director and a first-time writer. They did the best they could. I think they did fine for what they did, for what this movie is. More on that later in the end, but yeah, the writing here is just not good. You could tell it's a first-time writer. I mean, from the whole Outer Realms stuff, why does Shang-Chi want to cheat this time? Before the tournament even starts. He's won 9 in a row. He shouldn't be sweating, and he knows the competition's not that good to begin with. So, why? Just why? It makes absolutely no sense. And the whole Sonya Blade introduction, too. Now, look, Sonya Blade is one of the standouts I actually really, really like. I actually really like Sonya's character. I like Jax, and I like another character as well that we'll get to in a little bit. Of course, Scorpion and Sub-Zero. But like, Cole shows up to her, right? And they have a quick cut fight scene, figuratively and literally. And she's like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Oh, I'm Cole. And he shows the marking and all that. And then they walk into the exposition room, as everyone's calling it, and she has pictures of him everywhere. How does she not notice them at all? Just read. You need a couple more drafts before that. It's a big, big standout here, and it's not a good one. So 5 lines to the script alone. And we're going to give one more Limey, too, for the exposition dump. Y'all know how much I love exposition dump. That's a joke. I don't love exposition dumps. She was literally just there just to drop exposition on us. She literally showed up and just gave us all of it. I can't even get the words out. It infuriated me in the theater. I was like, man, just show it. Y'all couldn't find a way to show it. Alright, that's enough for the script for now anyway. And then we meet Kano. And he is a standout in a good way. He really makes this movie work with this new type of tone. From the serious tone that we went with in the beginning, and the silly, kind of almost semi-self-aware tone that we're going with in this second half here, because Kano is literally the best part of this whole entire movie. 5 Lemmys for Kano. So, with that being said, it is now time for another fight. It is now Kano, Sonya Blade, and Cole Young versus Reptile. And it ends with, basically a triple threat fatality for the most part, but mostly Kano gets to do his fatality when he rips into their chest and rips the heart out, and he says Kano wins. It's pretty cool. It was nice, a little nostalgia, like, oh, they did it! The type of thing here. And Kano agrees to help Sonya and Cole to go to Raiden's temple as long as they give him $3 million, which Sonya does not have because, just look at where she lives. And so they go on their way to Raiden's temple, and on the way there, they decide to do, hey, let's do Sonya Blade versus Kano, because, they're a big rivalry, and of course, they gotta fight. And, of course, Sonya wins, but she does not go for the fatality, and the editing in this fight is very noticeable. I think maybe Sonya was probably the one that did not have, the actress, anyway, probably did not have the most fighting experience or any action experience, because I think most of them did, besides her, and Jax, I believe, I'm not sure. And, it was like a cut here. For me, for the most part, the editing in this movie is not a big, jarring thing to me, but it is noticeable. It is very noticeable, but it doesn't take me out of the movie, but it did take a lot of people out of the movie. So I'm going to give it the 3 Limey noticeable points for the editing in. Once they get done fighting, we then meet Liu Kang and beautiful shot. I mean, absolutely beautiful. Gotta give it a Lemmy for the beautiful cinematography here. And he then takes them to Raiden's temple, and they meet Raiden, who is very, very negative. Very, very negative. And maybe I'm the only one who noticed this, but like, isn't Raiden usually more optimistic? Right? Like, I mean, honestly, even if he was more of a negative person, this former Raiden, it was like the character didn't even want to be here. It's like he gave up before the tournament even happened. And honestly, like with the way he was acting, maybe he should just let Chang Soon just come in and like, just take us. I don't care. I just do not care anymore. That's how much this character just felt like in this movie. So of course another Limey. And then Liu Kang goes to meditate. And sure, Liu Kang does that, fine. But he's been harping, oh no, we need to start training now. We need to start training now. We need to start training immediately. Immediately, guys. I'm gonna go meditate first though. That's literally what he does. Like, just look over the script, just a couple more drafts, man. Just a couple more drafts. Y'all know what it is. Liu Kang also took credit for finding the Earth champions to Raiden. I'm sorry. No, you didn't. They kind of just showed up right in front of your feet. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. And then it just goes to Lord Raiden, I have found your Earth champions. No, you didn't. Y'all just stumbled upon across each other. You're really right there at the temple. Like, you weren't really looking that hard for it. The out-around people then show up to finish the job, but Lord Raiden makes a lightning barrier so that they can do the training for the actual tournament. So with Kung Lao now here, they do decide to get to training. Finally, I guess Liu Kang finally decided, okay, I can't meditate right now. Let's get to training. And they let everyone into the pit except for Sonya Blade and Jax, who is still hurt and in the process of getting his metal arms. And now I want y'all to remember that Sonya Blade is not allowed into the practice facility or the field, whatever you want to call it. She is not allowed in there. I want everyone to remember that. They made that very clear that she is not allowed in the pit. Okay? Now, in this pit, there is a lot of callbacks to the game. There's Kung Lao saying, test your might, and there's the jumping thing from the game and the sweep. Don't act like you didn't do the sweep. Everyone did the sweep kick, okay? It is a foolproof plan that always worked unless you could actually jump. It worked perfectly, but the scene did look like it came straight out of the game, and now it is fan service, sure, but it does work in the confines of the movie. It makes sense. I enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. I will give it the Lemmy. And Jax is having a hard time adjusting to his metal arms, and Sonya is just there trying to, make sure that he is still good. And I dig it. I dig this friendship. Like, sure, there's not a lot of relationships with this movie that work. There's a lot of characters that are narrow, but Sonya Blade and Jax's friendship is one of the things that I did actually kind of grasp onto, and I actually really, really enjoyed. And I think the scene with them, like with her saying, get off your ass, Major, and all that, really, really enjoyed that. So I'll give it a Lemmy for that scene. It is now time for dinner after a hard day of training, and Kung Lao and Liu Kang make Kano so angry that unlocks his Arcana. Now, what is the Arcana if you have not seen the movie? The Arcana is what the symbol means, so they unlock it and they get superpowers. It's basically what it is. And Kano, yes, in the game, is one eye shooting out. And overall, the scene is good. The scene is good. The scene is good, okay? I'm going to give it a Lemmy because the scene is good. I really enjoyed it. Entertaining as hell. However, and I've already harped on the script enough, I'm not going to give it another Lemmy for this. Like, can you just imagine, you see this guy who can literally shoot fire out of his hands, and you get a laser beam that only comes out of one eye? That's kind of lame, don't you think? Like, I was just like, really? And like, Kung Lao's Arcana, he just gets a frisbee hat. He basically a Captain America shield that he can wear on his head. And sure, it can slice people in half. But still, like, really? You just get that. Like, a lot of these, like, the symbol thing and all this stuff, like, I really wish they would have just gone the route of These are actually true underdogs who just happened to stumble upon this tournament. I really enjoy that type of storyline more than like, oh no, you were chosen, you're going to unlock all these powers. And a lot of these things like Jax's arms. He could have had a bad, the Sub-Zero attack could have still happened, and he just got these big, bulky arms instead of him unlocking it later with how he gets it, because right now he has like these baby arms, he looks like a T-Rex. And Kano could have just been like a psycho killer. It's like, hey, I need a laser beam eye. Just give me one eye if that's all I can afford right now with what I've stolen. And Kung Lao could have just got this cool frisbee hat. Like, it's just... And Liu Kang could have got mystical powers from Raiden. I don't know. It could have been very... I'm going to stop. I'm just going to stop. They now need to focus on Cole Young because now Kano has his superpower, so now we need to unlock Cole's superpower. And they try to unlock it by just beating the crap out of him. Just let him get absolutely demolished. It does not work. And Cole's like, I don't know. I don't know how I cannot just unlock it. And then Raiden shows up, and, you know, he's still being so negative. And he tells Cole about, oh, you're part of Scorpion's lineage, but he doesn't say Scorpion, he says Hanzo's. And that you're from a very royal family, and I thought you had that fight in you, but I don't think so anymore. Here, go be with your family, and Cole just walks through the door. So, Cole's been told, your family's in danger. If you stay with them, they're going to get killed. And that he has said that he is willing to die for his family. But he's having a hard time unlocking his Arcana. He just goes, all right. Yeah, I'm going to head out. This just ain't me. I'm not it, guys. Like, really? Back in Outer Realm, Shang Tsung is asking his fellow champions about how can we break into Raiden's temple. Kabal just goes, yo, is Kano there? Alright, give me 5 minutes. And sure enough, his conversation with Kano works because Kano then breaks down the barrier. And then as Outer Realm starts showing up, as you can see here, Sonya is in the pit. She's not supposed to be in the pit. Come on, movie. Stick to your own damn continuity, okay? So as here we get a plethora of fights, including like Sonya versus Melina, because of course you have the girls fight, and other matchups as well. And back at Cole's house, because of course his family was going to be in danger, Goro shows up. Yes, Goro. He looks a lot better than he did in the 1995 version. And this is what breaks his Cole Young's Arcana, and it's just basically the Black Panther suit that can also give him weapons as well. And he beats Goro, and basically everyone else lost. And look, the fights are pretty good overall, okay? All the fights are. I mean, it's not a standout, and it's not noticeable because it's a Mortal Kombat movie. Of course, there's going to be fights in it, and for the most part, they better be good because it's really the main point of why everyone is coming to see this movie. But they are very good, so I will give them a Lemmy for the fighting. However, I just wish there was more stakes because, like, the fight between Drago and Jax. Jax has these tiny-ass arms, and Drago has this giant-ass hammer, but yet the hammer is basically the equivalent to a punch, and it means absolutely nothing for the most part. Sure, Melina's got her knives, but yeah, for the most part, all the fighting is just like, okay? I mean, at least in the beginning, like, every hit actually meant something, even though when Hanzo freaking pulled his spear back and he cut, Bihan wasn't really that affected by it, but y'all still get it. Like, you know, like, just, you know, every punch I want to feel something. Also, Goro punching Cole Young before he even has his powers, that should have killed him. 2 giant fists just coming at you, hitting your whole body, and you're just, like, out for, like, 5 seconds. Not even that, you're not even out, you just get up like, damn, that was a big hit. Come on now, Limey. Although, I will give a Lemmy to Kung Lao, because he got the actual fatality from a game, like Kano did, and he deserves to say...
flawless victory.
Yeah, it sure was. So Raiden then finally decides to show up, which I guess he had to stay out of the way because that was the only way for everyone to unlock their Arcanas, but again, the whole Arcana thing is very, very stupid to me in the first place, but whatever. And he transports them all to this area where Outer Realm can't get to them. And if they need the training so bad, why don't they just go here in the first place? You know? Anyway, Cole Young is basically saying, I'm the captain now. Because Liu Kang is so defeated because Kung Lao did die by Shang Tsung. And yeah, I mean, sure, I was upset because like, oh no, man, Kung Lao, he has such a cool hat. That's basically what the character of this movie, like, I didn't really give a damn about him as a person at all. He was just a guy with a cool hat who did some cool things with his freaking hat. That's really all it was. And if you weren't a fan of Mortal Kombat, that's probably how you felt as well. So anyway, during this outcome, and again, Cole Young's like, I'm the captain now, and he's saying, look, Raiden, you can transport anyone to anywhere, right? And Raiden's like, yeah. So he transports them all to different levels of the game, pretty much. And it is really cool. Look, I'm not perfect. I'm not made of steel. I like nostalgia, and seeing these levels in real life was pretty damn cool, okay? So anyway, all the heroes win, of course, because they now all got their arcanas, and now Sonya also has an arcana because she did kill Kano, and she has these, like, power purple arms as well. And I mean, damn, she got it fast, didn't she? Everyone else had to work for it, but now she had it like that. And like, you know, like I said with Jack's arms, it could just been military tech that got his military arms. If she wanted purple laser beams, if you wanted Sonya to have that, it could have just been military tech. You know, it's somewhere in the future. Kano has a metal eye, Drax has metal arms. You have like these metal purple arm things for the military. Just, you know, whatever. At this point. So anyway, Sub-Zero shows up because he froze Cole's family, and he's trying to bring Cole in because, again, he is part of the Hanzo lineage, and he has to finish the job of the bloodline, and he shows that they are at the gym, and it's frozen, and yeah, his family is frozen, but of course, they are not dead because this is the main character. Nothing really bad can happen to our main character. Alright, and we are now finally in the finale fight scene, and I'm going to give it the noticeable 3 points for Scorpion alone, because again, he is my favorite, and I saw it on the big screen, and he said, get over here, guys. Sorry. It is official bias, but just let me have this, okay? And it's really good. I mean, seeing Sub-Zero and Scorpion actually pose up, like, in the actual game where they get ready to fight is really, really cool. Sure, after Scorpion does his fatality and all that stuff, I do have to give it a Limey, because Scorpion speaks to Cole in Japanese. And, you know, if Cole grew up in Chicago his whole life, I don't think he knows Japanese, so I'm pretty sure, like, his wife was like, hey, what did that guy that left him fire say to you? And Cole's gonna be like, I honestly have no idea. I could really just see that being a conversation. Like, again, it just wasn't thinking all the way through. But yeah, it's too noticeable not to give it at least 1 point. So yeah, that's it. The movie's done. Cole Young, it ends with Cole Young going to Hollywood, saying his fights underground for $200 are over, and that he is going to Hollywood. I'm hoping with Sonya Blade to go pick up Johnny Cage. And yeah, they really had a movie titled Mortal Kombat and not had the Mortal Kombat tournament in it. We have to give it a Limey for a very, not misleading title, but we wanted to see the tournament, man. Ooh. And wow, that gives us a tie score so far. And there are no ties in Lemmy versus Limey. And you know, the final credits, the remastered 2021 version of the theme song of Mortal Kombat is very, very good. So I will give it the Lemmy to close out this scoring. And that is Mortal Kombat with a score of 23 to 22. Where would I put it on the lemon scale? I'm going to have to give it a store-bought lemonade. I do barely give everyone the okay to go see this movie if they want to see it in the theater or if they want to see it at HBO Max. I think you would have more fun in the theater because I watched it at home, but then again, that was my... I watched it in the theater first, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I did the second time than at home, but I guess that was because I knew everything that was going on. But yeah, a store-bought lemonade, I see a lot more people enjoying this than I do not liking it. I think if you are a big fan of Mortal Kombat, you're still going to like it, but you're going to see that, hey, there are some negatives to it because you know it can be better. But if you don't know anything about Mortal Kombat at all, I think you just come at it and be like, yeah, that was a good B-plus movie, a B-plus action movie, and you just have a really good time with it. Like the person that I saw the movie with in theaters, she enjoyed it a lot more than me. because I was like, man, I just knew what this movie could be. I still liked it, but it could have been a lot more. But yeah, it suffers from a first-time director, and it is noticeable. But I don't think he did that bad of a job. And a first-time writer, which I really think they really should have done. If they do a sequel, which I think they're going to get, because this movie was made for $90 million, and it's made $50 million on its first weekend, and I believe on the second weekend it is now up to $60 million overall. So it's very well in that case of getting that sequel, especially with pandemic rules and guidelines and all of that. You can't just rely on it to break even. If it breaks even, it's definitely going to get a sequel, but I think it's going to get greenlit either way if it doesn't. You need to get a new director in, and you need to get a new writer in, because this movie does just enough. It's just enough to be like, oh yeah, Sonya. Yeah, Sonya did her thing. Oh, Liu Kang came in. Oh, he did the spinning kicks. Like, it did just enough to be like, okay, yeah, we saw our characters do stuff. Now we need to give a damn. We need to give a damn about these characters. We need to know a lot more about them than just them having cool fighting styles and all that stuff from the games. We need to give a damn about them. Like, honestly, your main character, Cole Young here, I guarantee you, if you kill him in the next movie, no one's going to care at all. I truly don't. And that's not a shot at the actor of Cole Young. That's due to the writing. And I hate to harp on writers and directors or anyone who works on it too hard, but it's very, very noticeable here that you could kill basically any of them, especially your own main character, and no one's going to bat an eye at all. So yeah, you need a new director, you need a new writer with some experience, and with Mortal Kombat, I think it could be like an anthology thing where it changes up every time. You could retcon some things and all that stuff. You don't need more Scorpion and more Sub-Zero. Sure, those are the best parts of the whole movie in this, but I really think with that ensemble, and I think with that cast, if they are given the right material for it, can really outshine with this movie. But yeah, that was Mortal Kombat. I enjoyed it. Again, it's a store-bought lemonade with a score of 23-22. I am your official Zeke Limon. Make sure you follow me on the social medias that I have here. And also, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and leave a comment. What did you think of Mortal Kombat 2021? Did you like it better than 1995? Do you like it better than some of the storylines in the video games? I highly doubt that. But comment below, let me know, and I will see you out here next time at Lemon Studios.